We move on now to our first in-person reading here, and it's our own Melissa Faye Green. I have the boldness to say our own. She is the Kirk Distinguished Writer in Residence at Agnes College since 2016. She's the author of 6 books of nonfiction, has been honored with numerous awards, including a Guggenheim Fellowship and the National Book Award nomination. She has been a contributor to The New Yorker, The New York Times, The Washington Post, The Atlantic, and other publications, and is a great lover of poetry, which you are just about to find out. Melissa Faye Green, please.
Good morning. Not a poet. I'm your first non-poet, but really honored to share this hour with you all and hear this amazing work. I'm just going to read from 3 titans of poetry, and I decided to choose more playful pieces from each of them. Alicia, with your permission, I'll start with Poland. I'm going to read a poem from the great poet laureate Wisława Szymborska. The poem is translated from the Polish by Stanisław Brodsky and Claire Kavanaugh. And this is for all you poets. This is called In Praise of My Sister. My sister doesn't write poems, and it's unlikely that she will suddenly start writing poems. She takes after her mother, who didn't write poems, and also her father, who likewise did not write poems. I feel safe beneath my sister's roof. My sister's husband would rather die than write poems. And even though this is starting to sound as repetitive as Peter Piper, the truth is none of my relatives write poems. My sister's desk drawers don't hold old poems, and her handbag does not hold new ones. When my sister asks me over for lunch, I know she doesn't want to read me her poems. Her soups are delicious without ulterior motives. Her coffee doesn't spill on manuscripts. There are many families in which nobody writes poems, but once it starts up, it's hard to quarantine. Sometimes poetry cascades down through the generations, creating fatal whirlpools where family love may founder. My sister has tackled oral prose with some success, but her entire written opus consists of postcards from vacation, whose text is only the same promise every year. When she gets back, she'll have so much, much, much to tell. I identify with that, as I always have too much to tell to fit into poetry.
Enable this, some people.
There we go.
Okay, thank you.
This next one, also playful, is from the great American poet William Carlos Williams, who lived from 1883 to 1963. This poem he wrote on commission, so kind of playing with the notion of lords and ladies commissioning poets to write, but in this case, the person who commissioned this poem was his young grandson. This poem is called The Turtle for My Grandson. Not because of his eyes, the eyes of a bird, but because he is beaked, bird-like, to do an injury, has the turtle attracted you. He is your only pet. When we are together, you talk of nothing else, ascribing all sorts of murderous motives to his least action. You asked me to write a poem, should I have poems to write, about a turtle. The turtle lives in the mud, but is not mud-like. You can tell it by his eyes, which are clear. When he shall escape his present confinement, he will stride about the world, destroying all with his sharp beak. Whatever opposes him in the streets of the city shall go down. Cars will be overturned, and upon his back shall ride to his conquests, my lord, you. You shall be master. In the beginning, there was a great tortoise who supported the world. Upon him, all ultimately rests. Without him, nothing will stand. He is all wise and can outrun the hare. In the night, his eyes carry him to unknown places. He is your friend. And finally, from the great late Nobel laureate Joseph Brodsky, a famous poem, I know. It's called A Song. Of course, it's a song in exile. He was forced into exile and spent decades grieving and suffering the exile. But he also fell in love with English and with jazz. And this song was written in English, and a bit jazzy, although melancholy. A song by Joseph Brodsky. I wish you were here, dear. I wish you were here. I wish you sat on the sofa and I sat near. The handkerchief could be yours. The tear could be mine, chin bound, though it could be, of course, the other way around. I wish you were here, dear. I wish you were here. I wish we were in my car and you'd shift the gear. We'd find ourselves elsewhere on an unknown shore, or else we'd repair to where we've been before. I wish you were here, dear. I wish you were here. I wish I knew no astronomy when stars appear, when the moon skims the water that sighs and shifts in its slumber. I wish it were still a quarter to dial your number. I wish you were here, dear, in this hemisphere, as I sit on the porch sipping a beer. It's evening, the sun is setting, boys shout and gulls are crying. What's the point of forgetting if it's followed by dying? All right, well, thank you for welcoming a non-poet into the morning readings, and thank you all again so much. It's an honor to hear you all. Thanks, Waka.
Thank you so much, Melissa. Thank you for those wonderful poems that you read and take us through a range of feelings. We remember, and our next reader is, well, the famous poet from Malaga, Spain, Remedios Alvarez. And I would love to read the bio that you sent me. It's in the first person, so don't take the I as me, but take the I as Remy and Remedios, and you will see why I think it is so important to read this. With my name, I define what I am always looking for. I am the continuous struggle between duty and wanting, and I write it, I recite it, and I live it. This is Remedios, by the way, speaking. I was born in Malaga, Spain, without choosing it, but I'm proud to be an Andalusian. There is no age without mirrors. I am born every day because I forget and look to the south, waiting for the sun to wake me up. Of my achievements as a writer, it is easy to find them on the internet, but the greatest satisfaction that my texts make the reader reflect or move. I am number 41 on the top 40 list, feeling endangered from my kind and always dreaming of happy endings. Remedios, so delighted to have you here. It's such a pleasure, it's such an honor. Please take the mic, unmute yourself, and share your poems. You have 7 to 10 minutes. You have to unmute yourself. You have to unmute yourself. Yes.
Yes, thank you very much. It's a pleasure for me to stay here with you, everyone. And my English is so, now again. I try to share the first poem in English, but the other poem I'm going to read in Spanish because I haven't translated, and my English, is so. Well, I don't know compartir pantalla. Yes, here. Yes, I think it's okay. Nunca me gustó mi nombre. Sobre él caían restos de bombardeos para sanar las heridas de antiguas guerras ajenas. Con mi nombre y apellidos se dibujaban estampas de exiliados, pobres huérfanos que sobrevivieron mudos hasta el final de sus días. Con mi nombre, el dolor se mitigaba en los otros, acrecentándose el mío, nublando mi identidad, búsqueda eterna del yo. De nada me sirvió el llanto, ni hacer su voluntad en la tierra o en el cielo, porque los malditos mueren antes de ser engendrado. Con mi nombre deshago lo que anduve, erróneo punto de cruz, para volver a bordar con el mismo hilo la misma figura errónea, para volver a bordar con el mismo, la misma figura, para volver la figura y ser la misma. The second poem. No sé cómo hacer ahora esto. Arena de playa. Tiéndete desnudo sobre la arena de playa. Déjate pintar de sol. Las manos abiertas, las palmas mirando al cielo, los ojos cerrados. Oirás a las gaviotas buscando su alimento, la risa de los niños construyendo castillos, el vaivén de las olas a ritmo acompasado. Idílica arena de playa. Pero cuando el sol se va poniendo, la arena vuelve a dejarse habitar por otras almas. Aquí, repite una madre, aquí encontraron el cuerpo de mi hijo. Un poco más allá, un hombre cuenta no sé qué asuntos. Es cíclico. Lo que antes eran 2, ahora son 20. No siempre es un triunfo alcanzar la arena. Lo deportaron. Ahora cuenta todo lo que perdió. Hay otras almas que no paran. Van de aquí para allá mirando el suelo. Recogen algo, lo examinan y vuelven a dejarlo. Quizás sean los que el mar devuelve para que los entierren, pero ellos no alcanzan a yacer en paz. Entre otras, estas van preguntando sus nombres como si al no encontrarlas, como si al darlas por desaparecidas hubieran perdido su identidad. Nadie los conoce. Y el vaivén de las olas es ahora un grito, un lamento y un grito a ritmo acompasado. Cada mañana hay obreros que repasan el litoral para dejarlo intacto. Las autoridades cuidan de que el ciudadano no tropiece con desperdicios en la arena, idílica arena de playa. Tercer poema es: definitivamente me desconciertas. No soy una mujer que todo lo organice, ni que sepa al dedillo dónde pongo cada objeto, ni de memoria recito los últimos movimientos que indican dónde coloqué qué cosa, y dudo tanto sobre la ubicación de lo importante. Sin embargo, respiro a tiempo para no desfallecer por ahogo. Pongo un pie antes y luego el otro, y así fácilmente ando. Sé que el otoño le sigue el invierno, que el tiempo pasa rápido, que soy más lenta ahora y que los problemas se garabatean para canjearlos en la farmacia. Pero definitivamente tú me desordenas, me miras y todo se desordena. Busco sin encontrar lo que antes mis ojos choca. Tiemblan las razones obvias con juramentos de hechos. Desaparecen las pruebas de mi seguridad. Hablo sin ton ni son y desbancas a todos los que me hicieron avergonzar. Y aún así, no temo mi torpeza ni mis fisuras. Río con tus hábiles manejos de alquimista y conviertes el plomo en oro durante el tiempo que me miras. Quizás sea el soplo que llena la estancia o que se oiga el minutero del reloj mientras otros esperan. O que me crezca porque sé el final del relato que aún está por acabar. Sea lo que fuese, me desordenas para disponer cada cosa en su lugar. Y por último, the last, loca. He encendido el ordenador y me aparece un aviso. Actualice el programa. Uno de esos que impiden modificar lo anotado. Yo que he creído que el tiempo y sus reajustes me convertirían en pájaro y en bosque para habitarme plácidamente sin que nadie pudiera cambiar mi estado. Hoy me pregunto ante tu rostro, ¿cuándo mutó ese rigor en la programación del tiempo para que al mirarte me halle obsoleta? No quiero su perdón, ese que nunca concede, tampoco su olvido, que nos hace ingenuo, ni su remedio milagroso, el tiempo todo lo cura. Quiero que su cordura mute como cambió mi firmeza y loco confunda mi edad y loca me atreva a vivirte. Thank you very much.
Muchas gracias. Thank you very much, Reme. This is delightful. It brings so much energy, so much of sparkle into the poetry reading. Really appreciate that. Thank you.